You have to live every stage of your life. You cannot be a professional when you're 12. I was playing tennis because I love to play tennis, and when that changed, when you play for money, for your parents, when you're not playing because you love the game, everything starts to be more complicated.
As an under-12, David Souto was ranked as South America's #1 and the world's second best tennis player. In 2004, the 11-year-old talent caught the eyes of big sponsors when he reached the finals at one of the world's most prestigious junior tournament, the Orange Bowl, a competition that has been graced by players like Juan Martín del Potro and Roger Federer.
After that, everything changed in my life. 2 months after, a night called me and I signed my first big contract. It started like to be a different life for me. I started practicing twice per day. I started like feeling a little bit more pressure. The people start comparing me with Nicolas Pereira, who was the best tennis player ever here. I still was a boy. It was a very important moment for me because it changed so many things. I started to play more like a professional when I was only 12.
By the age of 13 and still ranked second in the world, Souto again reached the finals at the Orange Bowl. He once again battled against Bernard Tomic, a player who has now established himself within the top 20 players in the world. Nonetheless, Souto kept his pace as a highly regarded prospect. Age 14, he won his first professional match and became at that time the youngest player in history to be recorded in the professional rankings. However, in the midst of his junior achievement, his rise was put to a halt as a mild chest pain turned into a life-threatening heart condition where doctors urged his family for immediate surgery to save the young talent.
I was 14, I was playing a tournament and I had a heart problem. The doctors in the beginning, they didn't know what it was, and after that, 1 month after that, they called me. We went there to the clinic and they said like, if you don't have a surgery right now, you will die tonight. If they make me the surgery, I couldn't play tennis never again. I mean, I couldn't do any sport. And I remember that I said to my mom like, if I cannot play tennis, I prefer to die. I really said that. And they didn't make the surgery, we wait, and after that we found another option and we fixed it. With not the same surgery, but another one, but we fixed it.
After a long year of recovery, the 15-year-old went back on track. He won a tournament that catapulted him inside the top 10 juniors in the world. Sponsors again rushed to embrace the Venezuelan with new contract deals. The gifted left-hander was healthy, and big businesses wanted to ensure they had a piece of what would potentially give them a hefty financial return. However, Souto again acknowledged that even though he was encouraged by his uprise, he felt how the enormous burden of meeting people's expectations was slowly climbing onto his shoulders.
Every year, I had more pressure, more things. Manager, the parents start to see tennis like a job for me, like my whole life would depend from tennis. So every year it was getting a little bit more complicated. When I was 15, I moved to Spain alone. I didn't want to go. It's many things, and with the injuries, sometimes I feel like I'm like 30 and I'm 23 because I live like so many things too young. Every year it was getting worse.
Pressure aside, his skills and resolve kept people assuming he was an unstoppable force. Age 17, Souto rapidly ranked himself among the world's top 350 professional players, winning 4 future-level tournaments out of 21 he competed in. However, his rise was put on hold after an elbow injury forced him to stop competing for 6 months.
I had a stress fracture in my arm because of so much practice and pressure. It's a place that is not normal to have this kind of injuries, and it took me a lot of time. I was also in a very good moment. I was going up in the rankings, and it stopped me a lot. I was 350 and I was only 18. So it was a difficult moment, but it was my first big injury as a professional. So I took it with strength and I keep moving. But when you start having every time more injuries, even if it's a little thing, you feel like the world is in your shoulders.
Fully recovered, Souto was back on the professional tour. He battled through the lower tier of the circuit, winning numerous future-level tournaments. But it was in late November 2013 when the 21-year-old made an impressive breakthrough in his career. He reached the semifinals at the Guayaquil Challenger, a $75,000 prize money tournament, which moved him to the 208th slot in the professional rankings. The achievement allowed Souto to participate in the 2014 French Open. Doing so, the Panther had accomplished a milestone. He was the second Venezuelan in the last 17 years to take part in a Grand Slam event. Everything seemed headed towards the right direction. It was just a matter of time for the Panther to join the top names in the international spotlight. However, in September 2014, the same year of his Grand Slam debut, the elbow injury emerged to haunt him once again, forcing him to stop competing for a year in one of the most pivotal moments of his professional career. Regardless of the setback, Souto with patience once again embraced his recovery, looking forward to achieving the goals he had set as a professional player. But sadly, sponsors did not display the same amount of persistence.
Tennis is a business. Every sport is a business. It's not a sport. I mean, the people is not playing tennis because some of them, they love the game. But the people behind the game, they don't love the game. They see it like a business. So when you have contracts, you have to respond to the contracts. I mean, if you have some objective that you have to achieve and you don't do it, your contract ends. And if your contract ends, you have no money to keep playing. And it's just like that. That's why it's so difficult in tennis. It's not like in soccer or other games that if you got injured, you can rest 3-4 months and they keep paying you. It's not like that. In tennis, you lose your ranking and I lose my contracts. For example, the 2014, it was my last year from contracts. I had big contracts and it was my last year. I was playing well and I had a big injury in my elbow and I lose all my points, all my ranking, and because of that I lose all my contracts. And I start this year with a lot of pressure because I didn't have any contracts, because I didn't, achieve the objectives that they put in the contract. So they just broke it.
In his comeback during the 2015 season, as sponsors drifted away, Souto rushed his recovery to be able to play in a crucial Davis Cup tie. The event was set for national broadcast, an opportunity that would help him attract new potential sponsors. It seemed worth it, as he clinched both his matches, helping Venezuela go through to the next round. But a month later, as he jumped back on the professional tour, Souto was served what would be the final blow in his career, as doctors revealed he had aggravated the elbow injury. Only this time, they were clueless to the diagnosis.
The doctors, they don't tell me what I have. They don't tell me that I need another surgery. They don't tell me anything. Some of them, they said, no, you're fine, you can play. I don't know what you have. You don't have anything. Others, they said that you have to stop playing because your elbow is destroyed. So it's difficult when you don't even know what to do because no one tells you anything. So I felt like I was working for nothing, that I was losing money, and I just decided to stop.
Souto is now able to reflect on his precipitated development as a tennis player, pointing out details that could have changed his professional outcome.
For sure, I think I would go slower. Everything was too fast. When you're a kid, you have to be a kid. You have to go to school, you have to be with your friends. You cannot live a professional life when you are 13. When you are not humble, you don't see what you have to do to improve. And sometimes I thought like, okay, I'm the good player here, I'm the next Nicolas Pereira, I have nice contract, and you start to see all those things that doesn't mean anything, because it doesn't mean anything. It will not change your life. So it's important to be humble, to have a lot of persistence, especially in tennis, because it's a long career. You have to be a kid, you have to be humble, you have to live. And after that, you can start thinking to be a professional player. Without that, it's difficult.
He is only 24 years old, and distant in his thoughts, there is still the possibility of returning to the tennis court and try to fulfill the Venezuelan prophecy.
I don't know if tennis is done for me, but I want to think it's done, because I was too tired mentally. I was too tired. When I was here, I was not even practicing, I was not competing, but I felt like I was still feeling the pressure. The day that I said that I quit, I felt better, much better. So I just want to live. I just want to be a normal guy for a while. And after that, we will see if I can find some contracts, if someone wants to help me, and if I'm okay with my health.
Since his retirement, Souto has taken upon numerous projects to promote tennis all around Venezuela. One of his goals is to change the mentality in a country where tennis is believed to be played only by wealthy families, while baseball and football remain as the most popular sport. He has also embarked the journey of educating parents of many Venezuelan tennis players that want to begin the difficult journey of playing tennis at a higher level. His primary objective is to teach them how to take everything slow, while exposing his life experience to demonstrate that winning is not always the best thing in a player's career. His love for the sport has made him stay within the court, training Venezuelan players who are in search of taking their tennis to a higher level. As a coach, Souto repeats his motto to all of his students, to always stay humble. He is still young and has plenty of time to make the expected comeback that many in his country are hoping for. One day, the Panther will be healthy enough and possess the means to rebuild his crushed dream.